Fairy gifts were seldom, if ever, of any real advantage to the recipient, although there are stories where fairies did indeed help people or repay a kindness. That repayment always came with a caveat, and if the promise was broken, then so was the charm. Once, a poor woman in Clydesdale had loaned a mooty of meal, the equivalent of half a stone, or just over 3 kilos, to a fairy. At the appointed time, the fairy returned to the woman and presented her with a similar quantity of what the woman believed to have been a particular kind of meal that only the fairies used and contained certain qualities very specific to them. The fairy told her, "The corn of which it is composed consists of the top picks of all the best stalks of the best fields in the neighbourhood. It was dried, winnowed, and ground by unearthly hands, under the direction of more than human skill. And to boot of all this, which merely ensures the goodness of its quality, the fairies, in consideration of your generous conduct in lending us a portion of your meal, have bestowed upon this the following very extraordinary property." The fairy went on, "When placed in your meal barrel, it will completely fill it, and will always continue to do so, whatever quantity you may have occasion to take out, providing only you have prudence sufficient to keep the matter a profound secret." The fairy paused, as if expecting a reply, but the poor woman was so taken with the generosity bestowed on her that she couldn't utter a single word. She fell on her knees and received the gift with tears of gratitude streaming down her face. The fairy, waving her wand as if in confirmation of the expected blessing, bowed deeply and left the house, making her way back to fairyland. It wasn't long till the gifted meal was deposited in the meal barrel, and the words of the fairy were duly found to be true. The barrel was completely filled. A neighbour of the woman, called Ailey, was delighted by what she'd witnessed in the barrel, but couldn't quite believe it, even though she saw it with her own eyes. She thrust her arms down into the barrel and the snow-white treasure, which reached right up to her elbows. "It was all quite true," she exclaimed as she recounted the story later. "Her barrel was really quite full from top to bottom, with fine, rich white kerney, or grainy meal. And what was more, it would always continue to be so, as long as the woman kept it a secret, and that, of course, was quite within her own power. She need never want plenty of that meal now, as long as she lived. No yearning and chonering among the bairns now for want of porridge, and if the Lord was pleased to bless John and her with any more of them, as she had a strong hope that he would, there would always be plenty of meal for them all. What was to ail them to live on that meal altogether? Milk and meal was a very good diet. I am certain she had seen the day when they would have been glad to have seen the sight of it. Since all John's winning and her none, and the bairns might be laid by. And who knew but her and John might be some day laird and lady? All their bairns could be set up in good ways of doing, while their two selves, living happy and contented to a good old age, would die, bequeathing the wonder-working meal barrel as a rich legacy to their issue. How the poor woman wearied for night when John would come home and hear all about their good fortune. Her hopes were high, and her heart beat as quickly as on the eve of her wedding day. Many a time she ran to the door and looked anxiously in the direction in which John should appear, well knowing while she did so that John would not, no, could not, come a moment before sunset. Poor simple body. It never occurred to her that her good man could be included in the fairies' restriction, that he who had shared most religiously her every thought and wish, from the very first moment when she consented in the warmth of her maidenly affection to become his wife, should possibly be kept in ignorance of a secret which so deeply concerned them all, was a thing that never once crossed her mind. But she had missed what the fairy had said while reeling from the promise of the never-ending supply of meal. At the gloamin', or twilight, the wished-for meeting arrived. John was seen on his way home, plodding wearily along towards the cottage. She could wait no longer to tell him the news. She ran out of the house to meet him, threw her arms around his neck, and told him all their good fortune in a single breath. John was enthralled by the story, but delighted. The happy pair skipped hand in hand into the cottage, but sadly she'd broken the charm. She had disclosed the secret, and the meal barrel stood in its old nook, as tomb and as hopelessly so as ever. The poor woman was utterly distraught, as she'd believed they would never want for meal again. This is one version of this story, but the moral of it is always listen carefully to the instructions from the fairy folk. Otherwise, your barrel too may end up empty. If you enjoyed this episode of Scotland's History, please like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, thank you for watching.